Antarctic krill are at the heart of the Antarctic ecosystem. There would be no ecosystem there without krill.
There's now an intense conflict between those penguins, those whales, those seals that rely on the krill, and the super trawlers as well.
So it is actually a very sustainable fishery because it is a responsible industry.
If we don't act now, Antarctica could change forever.
Antarctic krill, the small shrimp-like crustaceans, are the foundation of this fragile ecosystem. They are the main source of food for whales, penguins, seals, and seabirds. They also play a key role in regulating carbon dioxide that's warming the planet.
Krill actually eat phytoplankton, then they excrete the carbon down and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and it actually acts like a big carbon sink. It's impossible to overstate the importance of krill.
Krill's reach extends far beyond Antarctica. If you've ever eaten farm-raised salmon, there's a good chance it was fed krill. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, from aquaculture and dietary supplements to pet food and protein powder.
It is an excellent source of nutrition for people, and it can be harvested in a sustainable way.
But not everyone agrees.
This is a completely unnecessary fishery. It exists solely to turn the flesh of farm salmon pink, and in order to produce omega-3 health supplements for which there are many, many alternatives.
The thing you hear over and over from industry is that the krill fishery is incredibly sustainable because they fish less than 1% of the total biomass. But that doesn't tell the whole story. The krill fishery is having an impact already at a low level of fishing.
The Associated Press travelled on board the Alan Kay, operated by the conservation group Sea Shepherd Global, to get a rare look at this remote fishery. We left the southern tip of Argentina, and after sailing 5 days across the Drake Passage, we found the krill fishing fleet off the coast of the South Orkney Islands.
Antarctic Endurance, Antarctic Endurance, Antarctic Endurance. This is Alan Kay calling you channel 1616.
A handful of countries led by China and Norway make up the modern krill fleet. Several other countries have expressed interest, including Russia. These massive vessels operate like factories, harvesting krill around the clock for months at a time. Steaming pink waste oozes out as the krill is processed.
What we saw ourselves is how heavily concentrated their fishing effort is. We'll have 7 trawlers right on top of each other, almost trawling behind each other.
What's problematic here is you have a lot of intense fishing happening in a very small area that tends to overlap very significantly with where humpback whales as well as other krill predators are foraging.
With advanced technology, the intensity of that fishing has increased in recent years. The newer vessels vacuum up around 500 metric tons a day. That's equal to what 150 humpback whales eat every day. During our trip, we got up close to vessels owned by Aker BioMarine, the Norwegian company driving the krill industry. It's responsible for more than 2/3 of the Antarctic krill catch.
Some people believe we shouldn't fish at all. We should all be vegetarians. Some people believe we shouldn't be in Antarctica at all. But if you look at the challenge we have in the world, we need to explore those sustainable sources of protein we can get. And krill is definitely a very sustainable source of protein.
But it's not just industrial fishing that has scientists sounding the alarm.
This is the largest sea ice loss year we've had in the Antarctic on record. It was incredibly warm, and it's projected to only get worse into the future. In order for krill to reproduce and survive, they need sea ice. They need that winter sea ice to lay their eggs, grow, and then recruit into the ecosystem. It could prove to be incredibly catastrophic, not only for whales, but again for other seabirds, seals, and penguins.
Regulation of the krill industry falls on the Commission for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources. CCAMLR's 27 countries determine when and where krill can be harvested. Since a new fishery management plan took effect in 2007, the annual krill catch has nearly quadrupled, reaching just over 415,000 metric tons last year. But it remains below the maximum limit.
They can't possibly increase the catch without putting in place measures that spread it out over space and time and creating a network of marine protected areas.
But geopolitical tensions have stalled conservation measures, since all decisions must be unanimous. Facing pressure from environmentalists, Aker BioMarine and several other companies agreed to voluntarily restrict fishing near penguin breeding grounds. They've also taken steps to reduce accidental catch after 4 whales died in recent years.
We did a lot of changes after that, based on the learning and experience we got. Build whale grids in case a whale should get close, it wouldn't get entangled in, and also put devices that will kind of make a sound that the whales will keep away. We are not looking to grow the fishery, so our focus is how we can kind of optimize the nutrients in the products we have and get more value out of the harvest we're doing.
We caught up with Aker BioMarine's cargo ship in Montevideo in Uruguay as it unloaded huge white sacks of krill, now labelled Product of Norway. Most of the krill catch goes into fish feed. Over half the world's fish consumption now comes from aquaculture. We tracked Antarctic krill to shrimp producers in Asia and salmon farms in Europe and Australia. The company also has the largest share of the krill oil market, capitalizing on the popularity of omega-3 dietary supplements.
Omega-3 has a positive effect. We are a more efficient source of omega-3, so we can tap into all those type of benefits.
But conclusive evidence of krill oil's advantages is still lacking.
Most humans don't get enough omega-3s in the diet, so rather than spending a lot of time worrying about, do I use krill oil, do I use fish oil, do I use algal oil, the key thing is just try and increase your omega-3 intake from whatever source you can get your hands on.
Retailer Whole Foods pulled krill oil supplements from its shelves, citing sustainability issues, although its parent company Amazon sells an array of krill products.
At the end of the day, this is a fishery that does not contribute to combating global food insecurity.
I think our products are making more food produced with less resources, contributing to better health and better society, and we do it in a way where we take good care of the planet.
With more and more krill fishing happening, even if you are the best player in the field, the overall impact is devastating.
With the warming waters, there's another threat on the horizon, putting more pressure on the vulnerable ecosystem and what it means for krill.
One of the other things that's happening in the Antarctic Peninsula is there's a rapidly growing tourism industry. And we just need to be careful as a society and take a step back and try and understand the impacts that our footprint is going to have on these animals' ability to recover.